All right, today's video we're gonna get into 2018 anime year of games. And first I want to say if we all know this was probably the worst year of anime gaming period. But first we're gonna hop into Black Clover now. We all know how this game died. We all know how the game this everybody knows this game actually lasted like one day. It had like exactly one day of hype, and like it's because Bandai didn't advertise. Like they did not advertise this game at all. The last thing they actually advertised was a beta and the actual release date, and that was about it. Then the last thing I've seen they put out for Black Clover was the DLCs where you could choose your. It was like fans could choose the last DLC or some shit like that. So like that was just like it was just Bandai's fault on this game's dev. It's like it wasn't like this game was trash. Like the game was actually good. I played the beta. That was like really about it. I didn't really want to invest in the full game because it was just like I'm not with the whole idea of 4v4 games this year. It's just like 4v4 games apparently was like Bandai's main focus and all of this, and it was like no, that's not it's not a big thing on me. If you're gonna do 4v4 games, you basically making anime versions of Overwatch, just like reskins with just like with Black Clover. I know I said that. Fuck. Naruto, Shinobi Striker, like just stuff like that. They just getting into 4v4 games, and I don't understand like was like where did the idea of 4v4 games came from. It's just stuff like that. I mean, but you see my boy Shadow provided me with the Black Clover gameplay for this video. Now you see he's using luck. The game, like I said, the game was actually kind of fun. The game was like it wasn't from the beta what I played. It was fun. I'm pretty sure if you hop on today, you're not gonna find a match. Period. It's just like that's how it is. You're definitely not gonna find a match. Period. Like when I'm telling you, man, I did not advertise this game at all. Like they didn't advertise it at all. They made like whoever runs their social media page is the reason this game did poorly. Like that isn't is all their fault, and that's all I have to put it on. So whoever runs that social media page is like that is they're the ones they're the cause of this game failing, and that's exactly how. That's all I can say. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of the 4v4 games. But like Black Clover, it could have been totally like to me, in my opinion, this game should have came like it could have been totally different, but this game should have waited to release, not with the 4v4 style. I said this, and this should have really just been released next year with more time on it. And I'm pretty sure at that time they would have been more focused. They actually would have had time to advertise the game like they should have, and it would have got out there. But gameplay wise, it was like the gameplay wise was actually fun using everybody. I used Austin the beta, and I used I think those about like the only two I really tried to use. 'Cause I only played like the beta for like one session, and that was it. And I didn't touch it after that no more. I didn't even record it, so that's why he supplied me with this gameplay. But Bandai, yeah, it was just all their fault from. It's just their fault from this game. Like that's simple as that. Like you can't blame nobody else in the point fingers. They didn't try to advertise this game at all. The game modes for the game was all right. I guess you could say like that. To me, it's just another, like I said, a Shinobi Striker reskin. Which came out first? The Black Clover? No, Shinobi Striker came out first, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but it's just like another Shinobi Striker reskin. It's not really much to it. It's like you see right here. It's basically capture the flag, and that's boring. But anyway, we're gonna get to the next game. Um, yeah, we're gonna just get to the next game. We're gonna talk about Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan 2. All right, so like the reason I put this on the list because the game was release week, like the whole release week. This game was actually fun, and the game was doing good. It was doing better than what you think it'd do. It was way better than the first one. Only problem I had is you didn't have to buy the first game. Like you didn't have to buy the first game at all. You definitely could have just played this one, and it had the first story and the second story. But you were going through both stories as your CAC while keeping the main story. But you technically best friends with Aaron throughout the whole thing, which was annoying. It was low key annoying. Story mode, for some reason I feel like story mode in this one was more boring than it was in the first one. The first one, actually, story mode was actually somewhat kind of fun, I guess, because I'm using I was using Levi. Like you actually were using people from the actual show from the down for the actual game. instead of using your CAC. Like CAC, if you played the first Attack on Titan, you realize how Levi and Mikasa had like special moves. Like Levi had that little spinning blade jump, and they're like that. It was cold. I'm trying not to cuss, so I have to like, I have to put it out there. But it was like, it was cold, and I'm not gonna say Attack on Titan was bad. Like I said, for release week, this game was like definitely where it was at, and online was definitely where it was at. But if you were to hop on Attack on Titan 2 today, like today, I'm telling you, if you don't have friends that don't have the, like, they have to, in order for you to play with somebody, you have to have friends or know people or be in a chat or something that people have this game, because you will definitely not hop on with anybody today. How do I want to put this? I guess let's just say mechanics for the scouts for your CAC, like how I'm doing in the video, slicing and shit. In my opinion, the first game with the blades and all that was better than what it is in this game. I mean, once you get used to this game, once you get used to the mechanics for this game, then yeah, it's different. But like the first one, like to me, was more simple. You didn't have to worry about that. And I see how they tried to implement. I didn't like how they implemented gas and blade usage. Like if you really, no matter what scout gear you have or whatever you want to call it, your gas is still gonna run out the same way. Like everything is gas moving, and that, like, it's not. It's just, it was annoying. Like if you didn't have, then you had to have enough points to build a supply base. But like if you remember in the first one, you had supply people around the map, so that way you had it was easier to resupply. You didn't have to do, like, if you ran in the second one, if you ran out of supply points to make the bases, and that's it. But we're gonna move on to My Hero now. My Hero, I didn't play this game at all. I didn't want to invest in this game at all. Shout out to my boy Nasty for supplying me with the gameplay. He's his channel link will be in the description. Make sure you go sub to him. But this game is basically, from what I'm hearing and from what everybody else is hearing, this game is trash. Like everybody I've seen, everybody videos I watch, they're not okay with this game. They said like mechanics for this game is like ill. You can't block in midair. It's basically quirk spam, like you see in the video. It's basically quirk spam. Combos. Now I do like some people combos, but like I think some of this is actually a stretch, because it's not enough. To me, in my opinion, it wasn't enough to actually make this game, because nobody really has a set move set but the pro heroes. And my like what I said with Black Clover, this game should have been released next year too. This game should have never dropped at all. Shouldn't have dropped at all this year. I remember everybody was calling this year the golden age, but like this game should have never dropped. And I'm not gonna talk on this game no more, because I didn't play it, so I don't know much about it. But wait, matter of fact, I actually am gonna keep going, because it's just like, I actually have something I want to say about this. It's just like this game got so much hype. Well, it got more hype than Shinobi Striker. It got like so much more hype. And after that, it was like, I don't know what happened. I mean, they did shy away from the basic 4v4 games that they were dropping the whole 2018. They were dropping they were shied away from that. But this is basically a Storm revamp with quirk spam and lesser mechanics than Storm. Let's put it like that. And this doesn't entertain. This game would like really wouldn't entertain. If anything, in my opinion, this game should have been Switch only. I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with that. This game should have been Switch only, and it should have just been like, that's it, bam. Should have stayed at that. It's nothing else. Now, if it's like, this is the type of game where you and a group of friends have it. Not saying play online with other people, but you and a group of friends have it, and like it'll be something that's like a tournament just between you and your friends. Like that's all this game is really good for. Next, we're going to Shinobi Striker. Y'all already know how I feel about this game. Like, y'all should already know how I feel about this game. If you've seen my previous videos, I'll probably leave a link somewhere for my 2 Shinobi Striker videos. The I Hate Shinobi Striker video. Is Shinobi Striker dead? And I'm done with this game. That was basically Shinobi Striker 2. This game was, the major problem with this game was lack of content. That's like the number one issue. Fighting mechanics could have been better. I still say they should have put in fighting styles. That way we wouldn't have to worry about all that. Everybody fighting the same. But I guess they tried to implement the fighting styles in the weapons. But I would have been more entertained with the fighting styles from the actual characters. It's just like that. this game, I don't care what you say about DLCs or whatever, this game still lack content. Getting new players only gets old fast, especially when two players just leaked and you know they're finna release. Obito and Tsunade, like how they had got leaked, and then well, that's why Shinobi Striker was down for like a whole week. It's like once that happens, once you see that, you're not even hyped for the characters no more. The 3 Hokage DLC was probably the best thing they did for this game. When I and also what I mean by lack of content is they never promised new game modes and they never promised new maps. If anything, they should have like every DLC pack should have been map some players and different, like I wouldn't say every like yeah, just mapping players because you can't really put a game mode in with every DLC. And I've said this multiple times, there shouldn't have been types in this game, period. Like it shouldn't have just been types, period. It should have just been all around, you can do what you want. I mean, not with the exclusion of the healing type jutsus and stuff like that. That would have been like different. They should have put it in jutsu, taijutsu, and support, which is basically heal and all that. They should have never put an attack type, defense type, range type, and heal type. But then I have to think about it, and it's like it. The people that make this game, they had to pitch this idea to Bandai because there's a small team of like 20 people. They didn't have an actual serious game before this. They had a serious game before this, but it wasn't like like it wasn't big. Yeah, you just know how I feel about that game. Like it's simple. That's simple enough. You just definitely know how I feel about that game. I it's just nothing more I can say on that. Like I said, I'm gonna drop a link for some. I'm probably gonna put the links in the description for those 2 videos if you already checked them out. Next game I want to talk about is Seven Deadly Sins. Now this game definitely lasted only a day. This game had 1 day of hype. Had Bandai did this too, if I'm not mistaken. If Bandai didn't do this, please correct me on please correct me on that. Like I said, I didn't play this game at all. I didn't even know if there was a beta for this game. Bandai, the anime is great, manga great. Bandai didn't really do much with this game either. Like I said, this would have been one of the games I said that should have waited next year to release. But the video I have for this, somebody else supplied me with that, and I cannot remember who actually supplied me with that. But game looks fun. It's basically it's a 7 Deadly Sins of Storm. I can't really say much on this game because I didn't play it. Like I said, this game had 1 day of hype. I know that for a fact. Had like little bits of hype. That's like definitely little bits of hype. I don't even know what happened to that. Anyway, last but not least, and I know this isn't the only one, but SAO Fatal Bullet. Fatal Bullet started off strong. Multiplayer, everything started off strong. Story mode started off strong. But let's go back to the multiplayer. Multiplayer wise, the stuff that they're adding in the game now should have already been in the game. Like the free update they just did with the dungeons with friends and all that. That should have been in the game. Like that should have been in the game beginning. Just like to me, this is not the best SAO game that was out. Hollow Realization was the best one to me. Just because it was more multiplayer wise than Fatal Bullet was. Well, Fatal Bullet, and still in my opinion today, is still not multiplayer wise because the dungeons really don't mean nothing to me. It should have been story mode. You should have been able to do with your friends and stuff like that. This is how it is. CAC for this game was actually good. It was somewhat creative. I didn't like how you basically didn't have a mean look on somebody's face like I wanted. Clothing wise, it lacked like a lot of clothing wise, it lacked a lot. I don't know what they were doing with that. I definitely don't know what they were doing with that. But I see Bandai still trying to keep this game alive. I don't know exactly. Are they going to release a new SAO game? I hope so. But most of the point, gameplay was smooth for this. Weapon building was smooth. But it's just like Attack on Titan. It started off good and it ended trash. Like it ended trash real fast. But surprisingly, it's actually people on multiplayer for this. Like, if you go online right now, well, even before the update, if you went online, you still had people that actually played this game. People like the boss battles more than the PvP on here. PvP is like real laggy, But anyway, I left out some like some other titles that came out this year. I just tried to focus on the bigger ones. But make sure you like, subscribe, share the video with your friends, give thoughts in the comments.